Today we're talking about the dangers of a transmitter site. There are many, many dangers at these mountaintop sites, especially during the winter, and we are going to cover those here right now. Hello, thanks for joining me today. My name is Marcos O'Rourke. I'm a broadcast engineer in the Southern California area, and I work for a group that has several different stations spread out across all the way from the border to Mexico, through Los Angeles, all the way into Las Vegas. So we have a lot of different mountaintop sites, and today I kind of wanted to go through with you and talk about some of the dangers that are at sites. It's not necessarily something you typically think about, but there are dangers all over a site, especially sites that are not visited as frequently. But even sites that have constant visitors. The site at Santiago Peak, that site has dangers that most people don't understand. They drive up there all the time, they hike up there all the time, and they don't realize what harm they're putting themselves into. So, I'm not here to scare you away from mountaintop sites. That is not the point of this video, but it's an education. It's an opportunity for you to learn some of the more riskier aspects of the job. You've probably seen some of the videos where we're wearing these hard hats, and it's not necessarily in case we bump our heads. Especially in the wintertime, the towers will start gathering ice, collecting ice. And what'll happen is this ice will build up off to the side of the tower, of the antennas, of the structure itself, and become heavy. I've got a piece right here. You can kind of see it. This came off of one of the guy wires. And it's about a couple pounds maybe. But imagine 6 inches of ice, a block like this, hanging off of a tower. That could be a lot more weight. And then imagine that falling from a height of like 100 feet. So you have that danger, and that does all sorts of damage to the site as well. So there's that danger. I'm going to change my hat back because my hat's more comfortable than this. And my voice echoes weird in there too. It's something you should be very concerned about and in consideration if you are at mountaintop sites in the wintertime. Now, right now, it is January, beginning of January, and I mean, there's a little bit of snow on the ground. We had about 4 to 6 inches at this site. This is the undisclosed site. And because of that, we had a lot of ice build up on the tower. But right now, I'm looking up at the tower, and there's no ice up there. So all the ice had melted, had fallen off the tower, and that's when it gets dangerous. Not when it's building up, but when it starts getting a little bit warmer. And that tower structure starts warming up, boop, that big chunk of ice falls and sometimes gets terminal velocity and makes a very large crater or damage or destroying my fence or ice bridges. There is damage here that I am surprised by. So, falling ice, that is one danger that you may not realize is at a transmitter site. So one of the more obvious dangers at a transmitter site is RF. Now, RF is dangerous because you can't see it, and it will do things to you that you don't realize until later. It's not going to cause cancer. Let's just get that out of the way. This is not going to cause cancer. But RF is going to heat your body. There are different parts of your body that are resonant at certain frequencies. Some of those are the FM band frequencies. Some of those are higher frequencies. And so you want to protect yourself and not have those heating things. Because if things inside you heat up, you're probably not going to feel it. You're going to start feeling, oh man, I just don't feel good. And it could get worse. Worst case, You can, I don't want to get too gross, but there are stories of microwave workers who were exposed right in the face, and it basically gave them glaucoma. Not good stuff. So RF, if you give it distance, is fine. Don't stand next to microwave dishes, antennas. If you look up at a tower and you'll see all these different things hanging off of it, you'll see like whip antennas, you'll see these weird FM antennas that look like weird shapes. Stay away from those. Big drums, stay away from those, especially stay away from the front of those, like whip antennas and things like that. They're sending out RF in pretty much every direction. But a microwave dish, that's going to be sending it down a beam. And so all of that RF is going to get focused down this one path. So you kind of want to stay out of that. But if you stay away from RF and being on the ground generally, you're fine. There are signs at transmitter sites. There's yellow signs, which will say warning or caution. Don't go past them, because generally past that, it's not safe for the general public. There's different levels. There's public exposure, there's occupational exposure. So people who work with RF, people who are engineers, tower climbers, people like that, know how to work with RF, know how to protect themselves. So that's why there's an occupational limit that's higher than a public limit. So going past those signs, probably not a good idea for you. For AM stations, the tower itself is the antenna. So you definitely don't want to be next to that. Go back and watch, I'm gonna link it right up here or here. Well, one of these two spots. The video that we did, the tour of KNX 1070 in Los Angeles. There is a point where we're really close to the base of the tower, and we're behind a fence, a gate, and you'll see as I bring the camera in, there's a weird little pattern that shows up on the screen. That's RF. That is a high RF field, and it obviously did things to the recording on the camera and the sensor. So you don't want to be too close to an AM tower. You definitely don't want to touch an AM tower. If you touch an AM tower, you become part of the electrical circuit, and there is a lot of electricity that runs into an AM station. You definitely don't want to grab that tower and be standing on the ground, because now you become that path to ground for the electricity, and it won't end very well for you. Let's just put it that way. So generally there are fences for security, of course, but there are fences for safety, and those fences are there for a reason. So please don't go past the fences unless you work there or you have business past that fence. That's all. That's my public service announcement for that. Something else to keep in mind is if you visit a transmitter site during the summer or winter, or I guess anytime it's warm, you kind of want to be aware of critters, snakes, cats, coyotes, spiders, all those different things. And that's just a general be aware of your environment out in the wilderness message. Because, you're out in the wilderness and you never know. Part of the reasons why we have fencing up at this site here at our undisclosed location is we wanted to keep people out, obviously. But the other one is we wanted to keep wildlife out. Wildlife will tend to burrow into places where we don't want them to. They will tend to rub up against things that may cause fatigue. So we're trying to keep them out of the little compound here with varying degrees of success because, well, as you saw, our fence is down and I have seen some buried up scat here. So guess that didn't come out right. Not buried up, scat with berries in it. There we go. You guys have seen what's behind here, right? Our generators. Here at this site, we have a couple of propane generators, and these propane generators start automatically. So another danger at a transmitter site is automatically starting equipment. you kind of want to stay away from equipment that may start automatically, like air conditioning units, fans, like ventilation fans, generators, things like that. You kind of want to stay away from those things that are automatically starting. One other thing that you kind of want to watch out for is people at transmitter sites. Those can be dangerous as well. You have people who are there who are wanting to steal copper, break into equipment buildings to steal equipment, all these different things. So especially late nights, weekends, times when people would not, when the bad actors, if you will, aren't expecting people to be there, you have to watch out for those as well. I have come across that a few times. So. Thanks for watching today. Kind of an odd video talking about the dangers of a transmitter site. But if you ever do go up to a mountaintop site, kind of want to know what's going on, right? You don't want to be unprepared. So anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming along with me here to the undisclosed location. Hey, we still have snow. I can't believe it. I mean, look. Look, I still have snow up here. What? Crazy. Anyways, thanks for watching. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. Crazy times we're going through. And I'll see you next time.